Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, what's up, everyone? What are you doing? Stay still for the rest of the video. Stop moving. Wouldn't want anybody to go sneaking off, would we? As you may have guessed, today we are talking about the one, the only SNEAKO, the internet's favorite voyeur. Recently, SNEAKO just never shuts up. SNEAKO is frequently wrong about the things that he says. In fact, he has probably the highest batting average of being wrong that anybody can have.
When I said black culture promotes degeneracy, that's something that everybody knows.
And famously, a lot of YouTubers and streamers have taken him to task about a lot of different things, where he has made this meme about all the beta male YouTubers and streamers that have attacked him, that he thinks he's better than, and the list just continues to grow. So I'm not going to get into everything that SNEAKO has ever said. SNEAKO, famously, not a good guy, and he says very inflammatory things. SNEAKO is one of those people that, to me, has fallen kind of into the Ben Shapiro category, where he is very good at either debating people who are unprepared, or more frequently for him, actually, is that he just says stuff by himself and makes straw man arguments. So he just misrepresents the other side to an extreme degree, and then it just makes it very easy for him to knock that straw man down, and he's normally getting a bunch of facts wrong, and his audience just eats it up because they're not fact checking. Why would you? Why would you? If you're watching SNEAKO, you're not in the habit of fact checking. Honestly, if you're on the internet at all and you're in the habit of watching streamers left or right or anywhere in between, you're probably not in the habit of fact checking.
What is wrong about what I said? I'm not repeating it for you.
SNEAKO has said a lot of things. I know recently, I think on Twitter, said that the KKK was better than LGBT. I don't remember the time that LGBTQIA plus people took to the streets and hunted down anyone or tried to terrorize anyone. SNEAKO's just mad that they exist. And a lot of conservative people are mad that LGBT people exist, and June was really fun. However, that is not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we're just here to talk about a really short 1-minute clip, but I think it's probably going to take a little while to talk about it because there's so much stuff that SNEAKO gets wrong.
They want a doctor who's also sagging. They want a doctor who's still banging and throwing up signs.
So recently, SNEAKO went on a podcast with another famous... Oh, you thought it'd be fun to bring your little friend with you too? Stop moving. He went on a podcast with Adam22, who is also famously now a voyeur. I don't know why they'd ever be in the same room together, given that's how they are, but you know. The clip that he posted on Twitter comes with this caption: "Black culture is mind control."
When I said black culture promotes degeneracy, that's something that everybody knows. You listen to any rap music like Durk. I listen to Lil Durk all the time. He's rapping about murder all the time. He knows that will sell more music.
So his first point is that black culture promotes degeneracy. Now, it's important to note what he is defining black culture as, because he immediately jumps to rap and specifically to Lil Durk, which I guess to him epitomizes rap culture, which thereby epitomizes black culture. This is how SNEAKO roots his argument about black culture and why it is degenerate and why it is destructive.
He knows that will sell more music. He knows that rap beef and I'm gonna kill you, you're gonna kill me. Bro, you're 29 with kids, still talking about killing other people, and you're gonna risk your life over music. Everything that hip hop promotes, besides and besides a few Christian rap or stuff like that, it's all just drugs, murder, bitches.
Surprise, surprise, SNEAKO is incorrect about a few things here. Number one, he's talking about one rapper and maybe a group of rappers. He's talking about Lil Durk, and he's saying that Lil Durk raps about murder and women and money. And his point is, look, you're 29 and you have kids. You're only rapping about this because you know that it sells music. And I don't know if he's saying that Lil Durk really doesn't live that life, so he shouldn't be rapping about that. And he's only rapping about that because he's trying to make money. I don't know if he's saying if that's commendable, because he's also saying that he listens to the music. So I'm guessing that he's okay with that aspect of rap culture or black culture being mind control.
Listen to Lil Durk all the time.
SNEAKO, just a pro tip for you. If you think that it's such a bad thing, maybe you shouldn't be promoting it to your audience as something that you listen to all the time. But beyond that, you are incorrect, because you're saying that all rap music is about this, besides Kanye and a few Christian rappers. There are rappers out there who rap about gang activity, women, making money, whatever, what have you, doing illegal things. But it's hard to categorize all of those as the exact same thing. Just because their content includes those things does not mean that their content is promoting those things. Let's take Vince Staples' recent self-titled album or Ramona Park Broke My Heart album as an example. Both of those albums deal heavily with Vince Staples' own experience in gang activity and with violence. I think you'd be hard pressed to find anyone who actually listened to those albums who would tell you that Vince Staples is glorifying gang activity and violence in those albums. If you listen to those albums, what you find is that Vince Staples is more lamenting those things. He's more sorrowful in tone. There is some nostalgia, I think, in his tone. But I don't think you could say that Vince Staples is sitting on that album and saying, you, young person listening to this, should go out and join a gang. When we talk about something like drug use, listen to something like Danny Brown's Atrocity Exhibition. I don't think you could listen to Atrocity Exhibition and say Danny Brown is promoting drug use. Danny Brown is being fairly transparent about how drug and alcohol abuse have damaged his life. I think it's disrespectful to his art and to others' art who do things in a similar vein to say that just because your content includes heavy material like that, because that is the lived reality of a lot of people making this art, that means that they are promoting that. This is a reductive argument. This is a not very smart argument. Honestly, I think it's a dishonest argument, and I think that he knows that. Lil Durk is not the biggest rapper in the world. The biggest rappers in the world don't necessarily rap about this stuff. They just don't.
When a black person becomes more affluent, when they put on a suit, when they get a good job, when they speak correctly, you're speaking white. Yo, why are you talking like a white boy? I'm just speaking English properly. When they talk about keeping black culture black in those affluent areas, they mean they want a doctor who's also sagging. They want a doctor who's still banging and throwing up signs.
This is just devolving into like nonsense. I can't really speak to experience that black people have who are accused of talking white. By and large, that is an internal conversation in the black community and not really one that I can speak to. However, I don't believe that anyone is asking for a doctor to be sagging. What did he say?
They want a doctor who's also sagging. They want a doctor who's still banging and throwing up signs.
I've never once heard anyone say that or ask for that. I don't believe anybody is asking for that, SNEAKO. Again, this is just dishonest. And this is an enraging point and has to be enraging for so many people because medical racism is a thing. The mortality rate for black women in childbirth is so much higher than any other demographic who gives birth because black women's reports of pain and problems experienced during pregnancy and childbirth are ignored. So no, SNEAKO, no one wants a doctor who is sagging and throwing up gang signs and banging. They just want a doctor who might listen to them and potentially give them life-saving care. To discount the experience that so many people have felt that is not just anecdotal, like it is statistical. Like medical racism is a very real thing. And for him to just be like, yeah, what it boils down to is you just want a doctor that's sagging and banging and like, no, people just want a doctor that understands their experience and will provide adequate care and won't discount them. And that's really all anybody wants or needs in a doctor. It's just that like some people have better access to that than other people, and like some of that doesn't even depend on like how good of insurance you have or what hospital you're able to get into. Some of that literally depends on your race and the race of your doctor. It's just it's an infuriating point. SNEAKO, I know you probably won't see this, or maybe you will. I'm sure you like search your name on the internet frequently. You need help.
They mean they want a doctor who's also sagging. They want a doctor who's still banging and throwing up signs.
I agree that there's a lot of stuff within hip hop culture that is kind of negative, for sure.
All of it. All of it. Like,
you really put me on the spot here to like think about it objectively.
What?
And Adam 22 agrees. I agree. There's a lot of stuff within hip hop culture that is negative, and SNEAKO says, well, all of it. But here's the thing. Here's the broader thing that is incorrect, right? We have the first thing, which is that, you know, SNEAKO is saying that all rappers do this or all rappers do that, which is simply false. But it is also a huge conflation. Black culture and rap culture are not the same thing. Yes, it is true that black people birthed rap, and so are the progenitors of what became rap culture. But to then say that now rap culture is the standard bearer of what black culture is simply false for a few reasons. Number one, black people birthed a ton of different music genres. Are you going to sit there and say R&B culture and black culture are the same? Are you going to say rock culture and black culture are the same? Are you going to say punk culture and black culture are the same? Are you going to say jazz culture and black culture are the same? We could go on. The other reason you can't say this is because the people in control of the industry, and even the point that SNEAKO alludes to, is that what Lil Durk does is make music that he knows will sell.
I listen to Lil Durk all the time. He's rapping about murder all the time. He knows that will sell more music.
But who currently runs the rap industry? Who is in charge of the rap industry? Who are the producers? Who are the promoters? Who are the executives? And who are the people consuming the art? Who are the people buying the albums or streaming the music? It's white people. And so you can go on and on and on about how black culture and rap culture is degenerative. But if your point that you are making is that the only reason people like Lil Durk are making the music that they're making is because it's selling them stuff, who are they selling it to and who is telling them to make it? And if your answer is, because it has to be, white people, then how are we saying that black culture is the destructive culture? What that sounds like to me, just like in every other art form that black people have started in this country, that white people have co-opted it, or at least have co-opted its means of production, and have therefore begun to determine its course into the future. Now, that's not to say that the artists themselves have no responsibility for the content that they put out and for what they themselves do. That's not what I'm saying. But to make this blanket statement that this is what black culture promotes and this is what black culture is, number one, is a huge conflation. One is an entire culture and history of people, and one is a genre of music. And this culture of people has created multiple genres of music. And this genre of music now consumed by multiple cultures of people. So we can't equate the two. SNEAKO is just incorrect. Again, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day, but SNEAKO isn't even a broken clock. Someone just ripped the hands off of SNEAKO's clock. The clock broke, and then someone like reached in and just ripped the hands off the clock. So now SNEAKO doesn't tell time at all. And I know that like there's no hope that SNEAKO will change, but it's frustrating to see this kind of argument be made with someone who is so ill-equipped to challenge it and probably has no stomach to challenge it. They share a bond. They share a bond, they do, those two. It's very frustrating because I know how many people see that and go, wow, he's making an excellent argument. He's making such wonderful points. He's making so much sense. I never thought about that before. But he's really not, though. He's really not, though. So, SNEAKO, shut up. Have fun on Rumble or whatever. Anyway, if you made this far in the video, like and subscribe. Share with anyone that you know that doesn't like SNEAKO. Or if they do like SNEAKO, send it to them. Maybe I'll make them mad. Or maybe it'll change their mind. I don't know if they're not in too deep. And we'll be back soon with another video.